So I think what I'm excited about for the weekend is, one, obviously this is the biggie of the big for Comic-Cons, and to have the lineup that we do and to be able to experience these things, and to have the opportunity now to change it up a little bit with the in-person virtual, where we get to interact with an in-person audience, even if we're all the way out here in Florida. I'm stoked for that. I can't wait to have these conversations. I might even bust out my Holy Grail from Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade. Maybe I'll drink from that this time. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I have to seal this because that gold paint might flake off and I might drink that. That would be bad. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with Fabio and doing that interview. The two of us, that dude is awesome and hilarious. And it's a conversation of hilarity. And then my show where I'm terrible at keeping secrets on things. I'm terrible at holding things. And the fact that I have things done that are on the other side of this paper that I can't show you yet, but it's there. Well, maybe I can't, because I announced, stuff like this. And there's more, but I can't show that. But I can show this. And there's a collector mini. This is the original, but there will be a collector mini of that for the show. I'm stoked. So for me, this is anxiousness as the gallery's like, don't post that. Like, okay, I'll wait. So I'm chomping at the bit. I'm so excited about this, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all there for San Diego Comic-Con weekend with Chuck Jones Gallery. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I am Ben Olson. I'm an artist with the Chuck Jones Gallery, and I am stoked to invite you all to what's going on this weekend. If you would like to know more about what we have in store, you're definitely going to watch what we have coming up right here on this video. So this year for San Diego Comic-Con, which I'm thrilled to death that it's back, and doing this virtual in-person mix. Love the fact that the gallery has a pop-up gallery in the Gaslamp District. I loved going to the Gaslamp Gallery, back in the day, especially after cons when San Diego would let you just people all over the place. And what I love about what they're doing in this mix is, if you can attend in person, you go in person, there's an experience, obviously, with just walking the gallery and seeing everything. And then there's those of us like me right now in Florida who am not able to make it out there, and yet I'm able to pipe in and experience part of this. And this is what I love about the mix of virtual and in person, is anybody from anywhere can tune in and be a part of this still. So I do it when they do shows, and I pipe in with stuff, and I get to experience it even if I can't attend in person. But how do you do it with the in person if you're going, are you sitting there watching something? Well, no, let's make that interactive. So what I love about what they're doing this year and having this mix up of things is, as I'm doing the show with Fabio, and then as I do my own show on Saturday, it's screens up so that people can obviously see the show. And then I've got cameras pointed to the audience, right? So I can sit there just like I was in person, and I'll make comments. And, if somebody's got a question and they're typing it, or maybe I notice something and I can call something out. And we're kind of bridging that gap between just watching something and then actually being able to interact with the crowd. So while I can do that when I'm doing virtual, obviously with questions coming in and stuff like that, I can now do that with the mix of virtual and in person. So this year for the San Diego Comic-Con lineup, which I'm stoked for, we've got some amazing people coming up, and it starts off on Thursday with Stephen Reis and Trisha Buchanan-Benson. And I've met Stephen. I've gotten to be at a part at events that he's been at. What a brilliant creative, obviously a part of the longest running televised show ever in The Simpsons. Imagine the creativity that you've got to keep pumping as you come up with new and current ideas for storylines. Phenomenal artist and just a solidly cool guy. I love his whole design sense, the whole yin yang that he brings to some of his character pieces that he does. Stephen Reis is just an awesome guy. And then Trisha Buchanan-Benson, who is a phenomenal artist as well and does a great job of storytelling within her pieces on classics that we really love and pulling elements out of those films and then bringing them to life on whatever medium she decides. And it's phenomenal. So Stephen and Trisha on Thursday are fantastic. And then on Friday, Fabio. Do you even need to say the last name? Maybe not. Fabio Napoleoni. We'll do it anyway. And I have, man, do I love this guy, right? And it's not just throwing sunshine for the sake of throwing sunshine. I love his creativity. I love the ideas. I love where things start from. I love the stories behind everything. There is so much to this guy and what he creates. And I've got his pieces around the studio as well, because there's been stuff that I'm like, I got to have that. I'm like, and even when we're on the show, Scott, put that aside. Is that one still available? Mine. Just put it on my account. I realize we're live. I understand that. On my account, this is not just me saying things. Please charge my card, right? And I've had to preface that ahead of the show. Be like, when I tell you to charge my card, please charge my card. Don't let anybody else get that. So we've got Fabio. He's got some great new releases. I've gotten to see them, and I'm stoked to have another conversation. We end up rabbit holing all over the place. He is, as his kids put it, when we met for the first time in February, after several shows, hours long, chatting back and forth, after a year and a half, we meet in February at Festival of the Arts. And I think it was his son that said, after meeting me in person, was like, wow, you two are a lot alike. You're like, nah, we might share some personality traits. So we got Fabio coming out on Friday, and then we've got Eric Bauza. What can you say about Eric that probably hasn't been said 1,000 times? What an incredible talent. What a great story behind what he does. And all this life that he is breathing into the Looney Tunes now, current day. And he is generous with the voices. Oh my goodness. Quick-witted, hilarious, and one of the most down-to-earth, awesome guys that I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. Eric Bauza, you're out after the Fabio interview is done. Eric comes on right after. You get a chance, make sure you're there for Eric Bauza also, because it is something that will not disappoint. And we have Saturday. Saturday is little old me, and we're going to roll some new stuff, some new releases. Conquer Earth has another planetary exhibition coming with another set, which I'm stoked for, and then some other surprises that I can't say yet, but I will show on Saturday. So what I'm looking forward to in this whole Comic-Con weekend, which I love the fact that Chuck Jones Gallery does not just a day, they do several days, it's a whole mix of experiences. I'm looking forward to just nerding out. Like, this is my nerd time, man. I mean, my nerd time's all the time, but now it's concentrated at this point. And I'm looking forward to new and interesting stories from the artist, artwork that I've never seen before, that I can just Google at, and I'll probably end up picking up something, as I usually do. And that whole experience of this being in the same crowd when we're, between virtual and in person, of all this kind of stuff, on people who just love this pop culture, I'm not going to say revolution because it's been around for a while, but this whole pop culture movement and everything that it creates. And we're all, again, it's satisfying all of our inner childs, which is exactly what I'm looking for. And I know, I don't go in with expectations and stuff. I'm like, well, let's just see what happens. But it never disappoints, and I've already got my expectations set. So if you're in person in San Diego, you're there, you're experiencing the con, and I mean, what a great district just to walk in, the Gaslamp district, especially in between events and releases and all that kind of stuff. But why it's a must stop for the Chuck Jones Gallery during this time is because you're going to see things that you've maybe not seen before. You're going to connect with things that are going to bring you back to stuff that you love and enjoy that maybe you didn't even realize existed. And maybe some things that you might know that existed that you've never seen in person before. And you're going to experience not only that, but just the camaraderie of people that come together. It's a community of things. It's a community of people who love and live and breathe this stuff. And, as mentioned before, in the history of things. So it's not just going to something to look at. It's like, well, that's an interesting thing. And you're connecting with something and be like, did you know that this was behind that? So you'll learn a little something, which to me connects me even more to whatever that thing is, a Looney Tunes film, something from DC or, Marvel or whatever they've got going on, at the gallery that they're showcasing. And you're able to connect with something, learn a little bit more, and satisfy that inner child. So if you're there in person at San Diego Comic-Con, you don't want to miss this. Like, I never missed a Chuck Jones opportunity, Chuck Jones, to hit the gallery and see what they had. So I think what's important too is this space for Comic-Con is a pop-up gallery at the Spirit Gallery. They have a permanent location in Little Italy. And for this experience, it's an incredible space. They're going to pop up this thing at Spirit. And if you're there, drop by stop in, experience something there. We've got shows running because we're broadcasting, both Fabio's and mine as we're doing it. And then afterwards, or if you maybe weren't able to make the show or are there just after Comic-Con, their permanent gallery is in Little Italy, and you can drop by there anytime. Comic-Con obviously is our little mecca of the summer of what we're putting together, but really Chuck Jones Gallery has events and specials like this going on all year round. So make sure that you're checking in with what's going on in Santa Fe, what's going on in Orange County, obviously San Diego, all the galleries that they have and the experiences they do, pop-ups in Palm Springs, I believe, too. There's all kinds of events, and then they're bringing in artists with unique takes on all kinds of things, as well as just some fantastic pieces from the archives, which I lose my mind on. When they pull this stuff out and I'm looking at things that were created by Chuck, and his team, originals, and you're just staring at them. That goes on all year round. So make sure that you're staying in touch with that, because the Chuck Jones Gallery is putting on events all year round, and all to satisfy the inner child.